Queen's pawn opening, symmetrical variation. Giveaway. One player was winning, but then gave it away. That game was pretty competitive. White played the opening well, but black was on another level. Both players navigated the middle game well. The reti is a less common but flexible opening that controls the center with the knight before committing a pawn. d5 occupies the center and controls the e4 and c4 squares. The d4 square controls the e5 and c5 squares and establishes a solid center. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. The bishop is prepared to grow into a functional square. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. By doing this, a knight moves out of its beginning square and into the action. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. This develops a bishop off its starting square, getting it into the action. It is the last book move. Very precise. It is best. By growing a queen from its beginning square, this activates the queen. It is ideal. This fianchettos the bishop by placing it on a powerful diagonal. It is best. Castling gets the king to a safer square, out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Castling kingside tends to be safer because the king is further from the center. It is excellent. By growing a bishop from its initial square, this activates it. It is quite good. A powerful play. It is quite good. Castling develops a rook, while also moving the king to safety. Castling to the same side of the board as the opponent tends to lead to less sharp positions as compared with opposite side castling. It is best. The rooks are linked by this, making it easier for them to work together in the future. It is ideal. By moving a rook from its starting square, this activates it. It is quite good. A rook enters the action after developing outside of its starting square as a result. It is quite good. This shifts the bishop to a square with more activity, giving it greater scope. It is quite good. This hits in the middle and prevents the opponent from gaining ground. It is quite good. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is quite good. Backs off. That's good. The rooks are linked by this, making it easier for them to work together in the future. It is ideal. This provides an equal exchange of parts. It is ideal. This suggests exchanging items of equivalent value. That's good. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. That's a decent move. That's good. That is a regrettable error. It is incorrect. This exchange is fair. It is ideal. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. This poses a risk of winning a pawn. It is incorrect. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. This exchange is fair. That's good. A better technique to recapture a piece is missed by this. It is incorrect. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. Although the score was nearly equal, black now holds the upper hand. It is incorrect. Very precise. It is best. The pawn is now suitably protected. It is ideal. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. It's alright. That's good. Although black lost their advantage, the game is still almost evenly matched. It is incorrect. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. That's a decent move. That's good. This prevents an assault on a pawn that may have been taken. It is ideal. The knight can now control more squares as a result. This poses a fork piece threat. It is ideal. This makes it impossible for the adversary to fork parts. It is ideal. Among the best actions. It is quite good. As a result, the bishop may now control more squares because it is in a better position. It is quite good. Not the finest, this. It is incorrect. This fails to take use of the chance to improve a bishop's square and broaden its range. It is incorrect. The queen is now on a square that is more secure. This poses a risk of winning a pawn. That's good. This passes up the chance to make a passed pawn. It is incorrect. The rook is now on a square that is more secure. It is ideal. That is a logical response. It is quite good. The pawn is now on a square that is safer. It is ideal. It is a fair deal after all captures. That's good. This reveals an impending attack on a knight. That's good. This defends the knight who was attacked. It is quite good. There was just one smart move to be made. This misses the chance to offer an equitable exchange of pieces. It is incorrect. There was only one good move in that position. It is a miss. This divides up parts by launching multiple attacks at once. It is quite good. This deters an assault on a pawn that is weak. It is ideal. This is the only good move. It is a great move. This misses a chance to improve a bishop's square and broaden its range. It is incorrect. The pawn is now in a safe position. That's good. This attacks a knight and gains a tempo when the knight retreats. It is quite good. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. A powerful play. It is quite good. This is not the best approach. It is incorrect. This loses a chance to imply that winning a pawn is possible. It is incorrect. Although black is still in a superior position, they have lost their winning edge. It is incorrect. This misses a chance to pose a pawn-winning threat. It is incorrect. It's all right. That's good. Black was formerly in a better position, but today white is the victor. It is incorrect. A knight is therefore exposed to being captured. It is incorrect. That knight will get material if captured. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. This passes up a chance to fork portions. It is incorrect. This causes material loss. This enables the adversary to exchange blows. It is a mistake. This forks pieces by creating a simultaneous attack. This is the only good move. This threatens to win a rook. It is a great move. Giveaway one player was winning, but then gave it away. That game was pretty competitive. White played the opening well, but black was on another level. Both players navigated the middle game well. There were worse moves, but also something much better. It is an inaccuracy. Giveaway one player was winning, but then gave it away. That game was pretty competitive. White played the opening well, but black was on another level. Both players navigated the middle game well.